Hello everyone, I'm Jesus and welcome to the next episode of the Road to Old School MTG. Here I have for you game 1 of the Sylex Slam Old School Atlantic Tournament held at Dave's Time Warp in Cedar Grove, New Jersey in February 2024. So this was the quote-unquote official New Jersey Old School Tournament. And this is, I participated of course, and this was one of the tournaments that, at least that I've been personally a part of in Dave's Time Warp that I attend. This is the one that's been the most attended. So definitely we got a good turnout, 30 players in total. And this is game 1 of me playing in this tournament, right? So for my deck, I'm using my regular Bantamgeddon deck, which is just Erhnamgeddon, but with blue for dibs and blue power. So I'll just post a picture quick and then just, the sideboard maybe it's slightly different than previous versions, but it's nothing noteworthy really. It's just me trying out different things of the sideboard. So with that out of the way, let us jump into the video. This is game 1. So unfortunately, the camera was a little tilted just because of the stand that I'm using is actually pretty tall, and I actually cannot see the view of what the camera is capturing. So, but I got a little better as the tournament went on. So I went first, and yeah, there's big time glare on my side. So Factory and Max Per, I believe. My opponent's playing a Tundra, then turn 1 Ancestral, right? So that's not something you want to see. Then plays a Max, a Black Lotus, so yeah. So me, I drop a Tundra, and then I tap 3 for a Serendip Ifrit. So this proved to be crucial because of what happens next. So I pass. My opponent drew, because of the angle, we can kind of peek at our hands there. So he just drew that Mind Twist, and then I'm tapped out, so he's gonna go use it. So he Mind Twisted my whole hand away. So for cards, I had a land, a Brain Geyser, an Erhnam, and a Dib. So I was set. When I saw my hand, I'm like, whoa. But unfortunately, it was all taken away, but I do have the dib and a factory out. So I got lucky. I tapped another factory, so I attack with the factory and the dip, and I pump, so 6 damage. My opponent had dropped a factory of his own and a Mox. I think, yeah, I mentioned that, but not the factory. So, oh no, I think that was his turn 1. Yeah, this is turn 2 now. So I dropped that factory. Oh no, I think, yeah, that was from before actually. So yeah, now he's dropping a 3rd land, so that's a scrub land, 2 for a regrowth, I think. Oh no, that's a demonic tutor, yeah, because he's looking through his hand. I didn't notice what card he picked. Remember, this is just because of the angle of our decks. Okay, so me, I'm in top deck mode, right? Because he Mind Twisted my whole hand away, so I'm just drawing 1 card at a time. So here, I'm doing the same thing I did. Since he has a factory of his own, he could block and then pump. So I can only attack with one of my factories, so I could pump it with my other one in case he decides to block factory for factory. So before he took 6, so now he can potentially be taking another 6. Okay, he has a source in hand, so let's see if he does it right now. And if he does, what does he do? The factory or the dib? Alright, so he does the dib, so I gain 3 life. So I'm at 21. He takes 3 because I pumped the factory, so he's at 11, if I'm not mistaken. He took 6 last turn, now 3 this turn. Drops a tropical, a volcanic island, then Sarah Angel, right? So that's tricky because my factory can no longer get through with a 4/4. So I have 2 cards in hand, right? Sometimes I, definitely keep things if I don't need to play them, partially to bluff. My deck is Erhnamgeddon, right? So I do have some Armageddons. So sometimes I keep lands in my hand just because I know I might Armageddon. Plus, like it looks like I may have something useful when I really just have lands in my hand, right? So bluffing, basically. All right, so opponent attack for 4. He geysers for 4, 2, 3. Yeah, I think, that must have been for 4, yeah. So right, so remember, I had a geyser as well, but he mind twisted it away. So I play a forest, I cast a pixies, and then I pass because all my guys are weenies. The Sarah Angel is perfect because he can attack and then still have the Sarah Angel open for defense. And then as a flyer, it just goes over all my creatures, or else I would gladly do a 2-for-1 just to get rid of the Sarah, since I'm not drawing any creature removal at the moment. So my opponent here is looking through his hand. Okay, I see a bolt. I see a Chaos Orb. So I took 3 more. I'm at 13. I mean 4 more. I'm at 13. Taps 3. Recalling for 1. Yep, and then he discards a altered counterspell. And then he casts a tutor. And then, he told me he was going to tutor, I believe, for a balance. So, I think that's what he did. So, he balanced. He has 1 card in hand only. I have a creature. Okay, I'm assuming this is what he did. Or maybe I'm mistaken. Because he taps 6. Or maybe it was a regrowth. Well, we'll see, Remember, like, sometimes it's trick, like, because of the angle is hard, like, the cards don't stay in vision for long. Okay. Oh, I think he time walked. Okay. Because he untapped everything. He attacked me for 4. I'm at 9 now. And then he had another recall, and then he's gonna get his time walk and ancestral again. And then he uses it to time walk. So this is the 3rd consecutive turn he's had. And then I think he has 2 bolts or a fireball. Then he's just gonna fireball me for the remainder. And then that was a pretty the Mind Twist was the crucial play there. I had a land, so I had a 2nd turn dip, so that was gonna go into a third turn Erhnam. And then on the 4th turn I could have Brain Geyser for a few cards to replenish. Or just cast another creature, right? Because I also had a dip. Alright, but with the twist that ended up not happening, right? So that's the way things go sometimes. Alright, so I'm setting up game 2. So since I lost the first one, I would go up first. This is game 2. So we both drew. I don't think there's mulligans, and then I go first. Let's see. So Tropical Island, Mox Emerald, and Pixie. Sorry about the glare. Like I said, the camera is really up high up to get this angle. So I did not know the light was affecting things this much. All right, my opponent Factory, Max Ruby, and then bolts the Pixies, right? Because he wants to get in with his own Factory. Right, so his deck is a control deck, so it wins by factories usually. And then or Saranja or. Alright, so I played an Ancestral, so I drew 3. I have a Mox Emerald in play, right? That blurred out card from the light that is a Mox Emerald, I believe. So, alright, so then I play a Tundra and then I pass, right? So I didn't do much. Opponent plays a Tundra. So he could attack. It might depend on how many cards how many lands he has in play, or Moxes. that he's comfortable enough to risk it, activating the factory. All right, but he disenchants my emerald. End of his turn before my main phase. So I play a factory and then I pass. Right, so with that fourth mana, because 4 mana is the magic number for my deck. With 4 mana, which I just dropped another tropical island. There it is. With 4 mana, I can cast Erhnams, Suchis, or of course the dips, which are even cheaper. But there's only 2 cards that require 5, and that's 5 mana, and that's the 2 Sarranios. Right. So and now I have 4 lands, and then with that extra Mox, I could have cast this Angel. But I mean, assuming I had it, my opponent swords Erhnam end of turn. He's asking for how many cards in hand. So let's see if he. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so swords, I gain some life, but then he attacked for 2 his own factor. And then I have my factor, but I chose not to block. So, all right, so I play a plane, 5 mana. Okay, it's glared out, but it seems like it's a set right here. I paid 5 mana and I only cast 1 card and no other effects, it looks like. So yeah, that's most likely a Sarah. So that's good for me. Right, my opponent's debating. Ooh, there it is. So he casts the balance, my creature dies. So I have 5 lands, but he only has 3, so I gotta kill 2 of them. And then yeah, we're counting cards in hand. I think I might have to drop cards. I don't know, we'll see. Or I guess not. We're even on hand. So he wanted just to get rid of the creature and hurt my mana base. He attacks with his factory. I take 2. That drops me to 20 because I had gained some life from the swords. I think he swords my creatures twice so far this game. At least once already. For mana, Armageddon. All right, so for me, this was just definitely a bit of a desperation because of what I also, considering what I have in my hand, right? So after that, follow Savannah line, and then another land. So actually, I'm recuperating pretty well. My opponent had the Mox from before, but then he had a Tundra either already in hand or he just top decked it, whatever. Okay, Ancestral end of turn, I think what it was. Yeah, no, remember, like just the glare makes it tricky. Okay, so that is a Chaos Orb that I just cast, but I'm tapped out, so my opponent can destroy it if he wants to, so that I don't get to use it later on. Yeah, attack with the Savannah line, so that's. But then opponent swords it, so I gain 2 life. Yeah, so since I Armageddon, I figured this is a good option to get rid of the land. So the Tundra gets rid of the white, which okay. I think he's mentioning about other methods of throwing the cards for Chaos Orb activation. All right, so now he's going. My opponent's going next. He drew a Black Lotus. Okay, I guess he passed. All right. 3 I play now Savannah, I believe. My opponent is checking my graveyard, so. So I'm thinking he might have a animate dead or something, or maybe he's counting how many cards I have so that he knows what to mind twist for. We'll see. Okay, that's a big hand. But he doesn't have to discard. Oh, no, he does have to discard, yeah. If he has over 7 by the end of his turn, he has to discard. But, of course, he's most likely trying to avoid that. Another Mox. So that's very strong because it does not get, those don't get killed to Armageddon. Okay, so he casts a Lotus, he pops it just for 1, recall for 1, discards his strike, and he pays 2 for something. We'll see. Okay, yeah, so it must be a balance. Yep, so then I wiped all the lands with my Armageddon. Now he's, a couple turns later, he's wiping all the lands with a balance, right? Because he had no lands in play. So here, I think I'm just double checking that he had the mana available because a lot of stuff happened, and I just want to make sure. Because not purposely, right? But some very easy for the mana to not be counted correctly, and it's happened to me as well, right? Without me meaning to. Okay, so I think we were talking about that okay, I know you have a sword, so I don't want to something about I don't want to attack or whatever. If he gets a creature, and then I just showed him, just as some gamemanship. All right, so I finally get a land, a forest, but look at my opponent. So after his balance, he already had 2 Moxes, right? So the balance doesn't not affect that. Oh, yeah. Okay, so he has a factory, a strip mine. So if I do get a land, then you can just strip it away. So I had to regrow for a land, Savannah, and then I used the white 2 swords, the Sarah. Okay, so that was pretty close there. So I'm recuperating, but he has a strip mine, right? So okay, he disenchanted. He stripped as well. So just literally when I say I was recuperating, he wiped 2, 3 of my cards. All right, so I paid 2 mana for Pixies. Not much I can do, but he does have a factory, so that Pixie is good for that. But now he just casts a Sarah, another Sarah, because I sourced the other one. Okay, I think I attacked. I moved my Pixies, and I don't. My deck does not have Giant Growth, so I think I was just bluffing here. If that's what I ended up doing, right? But it looks like, yeah, I did attack, and I do vaguely remember doing that. Okay, so land, Volcanic Island, another Pixie, so I got 2 Pixies. So even if he kills 1, he still got 1 more to deal with his own factory. But nothing deals with the Sarah. I do have, I think, 3 swords in the deck, main deck, and then I don't think I took them out. All right, so a third Pixies. Okay, so he keeps attacking with the Sarah. Like I'm at 2. Okay, I have to have a balance now, or else, even if a balance, he still has that factor, right? So he can still attack. Okay, a dip, that's good because it'll block the Sarah. And at least it buys me an additional turn. Unless he does something. Ooh, and then that's something he does. Sitting in a bottle. That took away my dip, and then that cleared the way for his Sarah to hit me for the final 4 points, but I was only at 2 life. Right, so my opponent takes both games from this match. All right, so yeah, it was a tricky match. I think I was more competitive in that first game. The second one, yeah, I didn't do much. But I guess his deck is more of a control. The deck variant, but a bit more aggressive, right? Because Well, at least at least the potential to be aggressive, right? So I don't think he was particularly aggressive. I think he played it the way he needed to play without taking risks, right? So aggressive could mean you took unnecessary risks, right? So I think my opponent played his match beautifully. He got me on both games. So he is 0-2. So for me, not a very promising start to the Sylex Slam tournament because this is my first match and then I already lost 0-2. I didn't even win one out of the three. And then I remember like everybody else or most people had already finished it. They're kind of waiting for us to finish here. But this is the results. There is 4 rounds in round one. There's, or at least the first the initial tournament is 4 matches, and then based on the placement, right? So how what's your record? How you place on the standings? Then we move to a top 8, and then that top 8 then move to a top 4, and then top 2, meaning first and second place. We're going to play together for the actual trophy, the Sylex Slam trophy, right? So I'm gonna have all those steps in these upcoming videos, but for today, for this video, this was match 1, 0-2. So not very promising start. So you guys will see how I do in the follow-up videos. Thank you.